Well, no, I don't.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We're about to start. If you want to leave in the chat where you're from and from where you're watching us, we're so happy to have you all here. And also, if you don't mind answering the poll that should appear on your screen as well, so we get to know you better and we know if you are already a Real Estate IQ subscriber and if you would like to have a one-on-one consultation of our services together with a free demonstration of our tools. So we are happy to have you here today. So let's get started. For the ones that haven't heard of us before, we are Real Estate IQ. We have more than 500 webinars hosted, more than 12,000 registered attendees, and 100 plus keynote speakers. So let me tell you a little bit about who we are. We are a lead generation software and solutions company focused on helping real estate investors kickstart their businesses. We strive to become the platform and resource to help them achieve their real estate dream. And what do? We provide real estate solutions to make deals come true. We offer a suite of lead generation automation tools, educational content, and additional services to the real estate industry to help entrepreneurs like you kickstart and grow their businesses. So this is the streamline of our solutions. We offer off-market leads to find the freshest data mined straight from the card houses daily on our data portal. We also offer you events, re-education led by experts, and training on our solutions. Skip tracing, get homeowners' contact information effortlessly. CRM, perfect to track listings and marketing campaigns. Virtual assistants, virtual support for administrative tasks, customer service, and more. Fire, personalized financial checkups and consultancy.
Recording in progress.
Run real estate comes in seconds with our renewed evaluation CMA. CLM, we now provide custom off-market data mining all over 50 states. And last but not least, the membership tailor plans to meet every investor's needs. So this is the deal of the day. We are offering you this golden lead to grow your business. So you can contact us to learn more. You can scan the QR code that appears on the right side of the screen, and you can sign up to get full address and submit your deals to advertise. You can also join us in our newsletter so you can stay informed with Real Estate IQ's weekly newsletter, get market insights, data updates, and event highlights. All you need for successful real estate investments by scanning the QR code. You won't miss any of our weekly webinars and in-person events. You can also request a consultation, a complimentary 30-minute in-depth one-on-one demo of Real Estate IQ solutions with one of our experts. We'll walk you through everything you need to know. So for more information, you can contact Bracenet at realestateIQ.co or also answer the poll that appears on your screen. You can also join us in our social media account like Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn by scanning the QR codes that appear below of each icon. And also, this is our Academy Learning Made Easy. Here you can find our best webinars and short courses so you can stream it at any time and from wherever you're based. We have Gaylene Rogers talking about legal aspects of real estate investments. Let me tell you a little bit about her. She founded the Lonergan Law Firm PLLC, a real estate law practice and closing office. She also owns the Lonergan Fee Office of the title company. She has over 40 years of experience in real estate, law, banking, mortgage, and title transactions. She is a board certified residential and commercial real estate attorney, a certified title insurance associate, and a native Texan. The Lonergan Law Firm PLLC is a full-service real estate boutique firm with attorneys specializing in real estate, litigation collection, and bankruptcy, among other specialties. A particular thing about the Lonergan Law Firm is handling the unusual and challenging closings and titles. So she's going to tell you a little bit more about herself. Feel free to use the chat box and the Q&A box to ask her all your concerns. Gaylene, are you with us? Gaylene, can you hear us? Okay, so guys, in the meantime, while Gaylene makes sure she can connect herself, feel free to write down from wherever you're from so we make sure to get to know you better. And in case you have any questions regarding real estate IQ, I'll be able to answer them as soon as possible. I guess she's trying to connect. She was having some technical issues with her presentation and sharing her screen. So I guess she's, thank you, Kate, for sharing. And also let me tell you that we are also looking for new speakers. So in case you are an expert in any aspect of real estate, you can also let me know by sending an email to the email address that you will find in the chat box. Oh, Gaylene, you're here. Are you able to share your presentation? You are muted or we can't hear you.
You hear me now?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. Well, hang on. I'm a little bit of a dummy as far as this stuff goes. Oh, goodness. Okay. Can you, oh, excuse me.
I suggest that you mute yourself from one of the devices
Yes,
because
that's
there
what
is
I
an
just
echo.
did. Yeah, that's what I just did. Can you see me now?
No, not
Oh,
yet.
goodness. Okay, can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, there is still an echo. We hear you, but
Still an
we
echo.
can't.
Ah, hang on. Go in the other room. Can you hear me without an echo now?
Yeah, perfect.
Oh, I can't hear you now.
You
Oh my
can't?
goodness.
Okay, guys, sorry for this inconvenience. I guess and hope that she's gonna solve it as soon as possible. In the meantime, if you want to go and grab some water or go to the toilet, you can feel free to do it. And sorry for this delay. We weren't expecting it to happen, so sorry again.
Can you hear me?
Perfect.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm halfway there. I'm sorry about all this.
No, it's okay. Did you manage to solve the thing about the sharing of your screen?
Yeah, that's what I'm now working on. Let's see.
Okay.
Okay. I'm really not this inept most of the time.
Are you connected with your phone or with your computer now?
No, I'm trying to do it with my computer, but I'm having all kinds of difficulties with it.
Mm.
Let's see. Legal aspects. Okay, maybe go back. But I can't share the screen. I've got the slides, but I can't figure out how to share the screen. I don't know, Valentina. I don't know if I'm gonna get it or not.
I have the presentation. Give me 1 second. Then I will try to share it from my side. Maybe this way it's easier. Can you see my screen,
I
Gaylene?
can. Yeah, I can. I can do it from my phone if you can help me with the slides.
Yeah, I can do it this way.
Okay. Is everybody back? Are we ready to get going?
Yeah.
Okay. I apologize to everyone for this. I I really usually don't have this trouble, but I don't know what's going on with my computer. Anyway, I am Gaylene Rogers Lonergan. I am a 40 plus year real estate lawyer. I do work primarily with investors, and I do specialize in difficult situations. I didn't start out to do that, but that's the way it ended up. So this is just a little bit about me. Um, why don't we move on to our topics for discussion? Can we go to the next slide? Yeah. Can we go to the next? There we go. So, as you guys can imagine, legal aspects of real estate investment is a pretty broad topic. So, I'm just going to be hitting some high points about things that I run into with investors when we're trying to close their deals. The first thing I would say is there's all different kinds of transactions, and a lot of people try to use different contract forms for different transactions. I, however, always recommend to my clients that they use, if at all possible, the Texas Real Estate Commission 1 to 4 family residential contract on any transaction. And the reason for that is that I believe that gives the investor that's trying to get the deal some validity with the potential seller. that they're not just coming in with a 2-page contract. Okay. The TREC form has been highly distilled by a committee of lawyers and real estate agents. And so I recommend using it. You can use that in connection with an assignment contract. If you're going to do assignments, if you're wholesaling, then you would need to do a separate contract for your buyer, which would be an assignment of contract agreement. But as far as you dealing with your seller, you could use the TREC form contract. Then there's also subject twos. Subject to, you certainly can still use the TREC contract. But what I recommend is that you add an addendum that spells out the different issues relating to subject to. I have a subject to addendum, which I would be happy to share with each of you here on this webinar. If you'll just send me an email after the webinar, I will forward it to you. And then the last type of transaction that investors generally work on is owner finance and wrap owner finance. Owner finance, if you can get a seller to owner finance the transaction to you, that is ideal. Or if you have bought a subject to and you want to sell it to someone on a wrap, that would be wrap owner finance. All of these different ways of doing real estate transactions are all valid and all have their own unique characteristics. But again, the main point I want to make is you don't have to make it difficult. You can use the same form of contract and add some amending language to each one of them. Okay. So let's move on to the title issues. Oh, and before I finish that, anyone can access the TREC contract on the texasrealestateCommission.org website. You can even fill it in on their website. It's really easy, and you don't have to be a real estate agent to be allowed to use it. Okay, let's go on to title issues. Title issues. First of all, I want to talk about a little bit about liens on homestead property. There's only a few valid ways to have a valid lien on someone's homestead property. You can have one for purchase money, refinance of purchase money, home improvements, home equity, taxes, both local and federal income taxes. But there's no other valid liens on a homestead, and that includes child support, that includes judgments. So a lot of the people that you're going to go out and try to buy properties from may have child support liens. They may have judgments against them. Just because they have that doesn't mean you can't still do the deal. Those are not valid liens, but the problem is the title companies will require you to deal with those issues in order to sell the property. So let's go to the next screen. This is something that I let some people in on the last time I gave this talk, and they said that was worth the cost of admission. So liens on homestead, generally, although these liens are not valid, most title companies will require that the liens be released or in order for a seller to sell. That's where the legislature came in a few years ago and came up with Texas Property Code Section 52.0012C. That is a procedure for self-releasing a lien by a judgment debtor. Because I don't know about you, but I've had several transactions where I contacted the creditor and said, hey, you can't have a valid lien on this. I need you to sign a partial release. And they just say, well, sue me over it. So on this Texas 52.002, you can, if you follow the process exactly the way it's provided for, at the end of 30 days, that lien will be released, and most title companies will recognize that. I know mine certainly do. I worked on a transaction not very long ago that I self-released 15 judgment liens so that the transaction could close. So liens on homestead is a big issue for you guys when you're trying to buy property. So the other issue is you've got dead title holders. So let's move on to that next screen where deceased seller, title holders of record. Seems like I am working on deceased seller transactions at least 75% of the time. Let's go to the next screen. Oops, no, next screen. If someone inherits a property, the owner of the property is still showing as a deceased person. In order for them to be able to sell it, they have to account for that deceased person's um, title interest. There's two different ways that can be done. If a person has a valid probated will, then that's one way to take care of it. If there's a probated will, and when I say probated, it has to have been submitted to the probate court to be approved, and letters testamentary have to have been issued. All right, and it's submitted to the court, the court in the county where the individual died. It doesn't matter where they lived, it is where they died. And so you file essentially a lawsuit, a legal petition application to probate the will. And if everything, all the T's are crossed and I's dotted, the court will approve that. Usually it takes 30 days to get a hearing set. And at the hearing, the attorney will question the executor, who will provide oral testimony as to the specifics of the validity of the will. And once the hearing is done, the judge, if they approve the will, then they'll have their clerk issue letters testamentary to the executor, which allows them to act under the will and sell the property. So as far as the title companies are concerned, what you need, if you have a seller that says that there was a probated will of the title holder, we have to get a certified copy of that probate application and will and record it in the county where the property is located. But the most common issue is without a probated will. Most people don't actually prepare and sign a will. It's just a fact of life, especially in the price points that a lot of investors are buying properties. So this is the most common situation you're going to run into. So if you don't have a will, then the state of Texas is going to tell you who gets your properties. And that's set out in a statute book called the Texas Estates Code. And it will tell you exactly who inherits the property. And there's nothing anybody can do to modify that. Oh, I've heard people say, I can't find my missing brother. It doesn't matter. It still has to be accounted for. So what we ask for at the title company is we ask for certified copies of the death certificate or a copy of the death certificate, and then we give the sellers what's called an heirship questionnaire for them to fill out and provide us with information about the deceased person, when they were born, when they died, what children they had, who they were married to, were they divorced, were they a widow, whatnot. And once they fill out that questionnaire, then we at the title company prepare a document called affidavits of heirship, which then gets signed by the family member. And then we need two disinterested individuals, can't be family members. Best people are like neighbors or longtime friends. And they have to sign and have their signature notarized. So the document, everyone's signature is notarized, and then it's recorded in the county clerk's records where the property is located. Then at that point, we know who the heirs are. So we have to have deeds from all the legal heirs. And this is the big point I want to make sure you guys leave with. Once a person dies, their legal heirs are now the owners of the property, whether that's been documented and anybody knows it or not. Then once we document it, then we have to go back and search the names of the legal heirs and see if they have any liens against them, which attach to the property as soon as their ancestor dies. So, and they have to be paid. All right. Because these are not homestead properties where you inherit a property. Okay. And then there's a couple of other issues that pop up with probate and intestacy. The state of Texas, back in 2005, passed a law that said anyone that receives Medicaid payments from the state of Texas, their payments can be recouped from their real estate, from their property. So this isn't a lien, it's just a right of the state of Texas to collect money regarding the property. So the title companies have to send a um, questionnaire to Medicaid to see if they're going to make a claim. That usually takes them about 10 days to get back to us, and they don't hurry it at all. And then if they say they're going to make a claim, then we go and look and see if there's some exemptions or some exceptions that we can fall under where they will not make a claim. Say an adult child was living with someone that did receive Medicaid benefits in the house, then Medicaid will waive their right to take that house from the adult child, for example. And then I wanted to also visit with you guys about foreclosures and excess proceeds. Foreclosures in Texas, we do non-judicial foreclosures, which means you don't have to file a lawsuit. You don't have to go to court. The lender just is required to follow the requirements in the Texas Property Code. They have to send a 20-day notice to the borrower telling them they're in default. If at the end of the 20 days they haven't cured their default, then the lender can accelerate their debt, which means that all of their debt is owed, not just the part that they've missed and they're late on. And at that same time, the lender is required to post a notice of trustee sale on the board at the county where the property is located. They're required to file it, copy of the notice in the county clerk's records, and they're required to send a copy of the notice by certified mail to the borrower. That has to be done at least 21 days before the date of the foreclosure sale. And in Texas, every foreclosure sale is conducted on the first Tuesday of every month, and that's the only day that they're conducted. So you kind of have to work back from the date of foreclosure, back 21 days, and then back 20 days. But if you work it exactly right, a lender could possibly foreclose a property in 41 days. It usually doesn't work exactly like that, but if the time periods fall exactly right, you could do that. Now, a lot of people, I just had a client in my office talking about wanting to go down and buy foreclosures. Yes, you can do that, but you have to understand that it's buyer beware at the foreclosure sale. The trustees make no warranties or any representations of any kind. I constantly get asked by people when I'm down there conducting a public auction sale, well, is the title clear? And I tell them every time, I cannot tell you anything about that. You have to do your own research. So you're just taking it at your own risk. And let me mention kind of a horror story that just happened to a client of mine. He went and bought a property at a tax foreclosure sale. Okay. So he got it for a good price. And then he was going to just flip it. He was just going to flip the property. So he hired me to evict the people that were foreclosed, and we did that. And then he put it under contract. And when we did the title search, it turns out that the city of Garland had a $250,000 code compliance lien against the property for failure for constructing an illegal garage apartment. And so my client could not sell his property without paying his $250,000 lien. Well, I called the city of Garland and to speak to them about it. And he said, yes, there is this $250,000 lien. This was an illegal garage apartment. And we told him we told the prior owners we were going to put that against the property, and they didn't do anything. So I talked to him a little bit further. He said, but listen, we really don't care about the $250,000. We just want the garage apartment gone. He said, so we will enter into a written agreement with your client saying that if you take care of that illegal garage apartment, rehab the property within 6 months, let us look at it, we sign off on everything, we will reduce that $250,000 fine to a $750 fine. So that's what my client is in the process of doing, is rehabbing that property, getting rid of that illegal garage apartment. And then we're going to go back to the city and get them to sign off on it and pay them $750. But that's just an example of buyer beware when you go to buy at foreclosure sale. I highly recommend at least identifying a couple of properties that you might be interested in and having a title search run on those. It's going to cost you a little bit of money, but it could be worth every dollar of it. And then the last thing I wanted to talk to you about was excess proceeds. And I know a lot of investors that are getting into this area as a real estate investment. So take the example that I just gave you. My client bought a foreclosure sale for $150,000 at the tax foreclosure. The only amount of taxes that were owed were, say, $40,000. So anything over and above what the taxing authority is owned is called excess proceeds, and the foreclosed taxpayer is entitled to receive that money. But they're entitled to it, but the county doesn't automatically just say, oh, here you go, we're going to give it to you. You have to go ask for it. You have to go file a motion to get the proceeds. Okay. You have to, and then you have a hearing, and the judge will say, why do you think you're entitled to this? And sometimes it's a direct claimant, like the one I just described to you. In fact, once this City of Garland compliance lien is reduced to $750, then that taxpayer, that debtor, will be entitled to receive about $70,000 from the county for excess proceeds. And I'm going to help him apply for those. But I know there's a lot of real estate investors that have looked into this. And of course, what they do is they search the records to see who is due a excess proceed, and then they contact them and sign them up to have them help them get it for a percentage of the proceeds. There's a lot of people out there doing it, and it's, in fact, I'm probably going to be giving a webinar on that very topic one of these days in the near future. That's really that's really all that I had included in my webinar. Okay. And hopefully I'm going to be able to see your chats, and I'll see if I can answer your questions now. Let's see. Yeah, I know you're on the wrong slide. We never did get off of that right slide. I don't know what the issue is. Were there any other questions on the chat? Looking for a real estate lawyer in the, hang on, what happened? Come back. Looking for a real estate lawyer in the San Antonio area. I'm an active real estate investor in that area. Planning to bring on investors to my team. I'm looking for someone to assist in the legal formation process. Are you talking about forming for legal entity formation? Is that what you're talking about? If yes, ma'am. But yeah, well, that's something that I can help you with. You don't have to have someone in the San Antonio area. I do that for investors all over Texas. Okay. Uh, we know how to form that. We know how to get all the documentation that you need, federal EINs, resolutions, operating agreements, and whatnot. Anybody else have a question? I kind of ran through that faster than I meant to, but I was a little bit, what we got for participants? Let's see. Any of you guys have any questions? Harold, Lisa, Oscar? Well, okay. On the last, well, I'm going to give you guys my email address. If you guys will all email me, I will send you this complete slide presentation, and I will send you my subject. I'll send you my subject to addendum for the TREC contract, and anything else that, if you have any questions, just email them to me. So here is my email address. It is G as in girl, Rogers, ROGERS, at, and then my firm name, which is Lonergan, LONERGAN, then law, LAW.com. So it's G Rogers at LonerganLaw.com. So if you'll send me an email, we'll get the slides back out to you, the subject to addendum, and I'll answer any questions that you guys might have. And I apologize for my ineptitude as far as webinars are concerned. I will have that straightened out before the next one I do. I'm a lot better real estate lawyer than I am an IT person. So, Valentina, I guess I will turn this back to you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much. It was amazing. We expect you in future webinars. We will definitely share your presentation with all the attendees, and we will share you the list of the attendees today. So thank you, everyone, for attending today. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Have a wonderful day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.